we voiced our beef. Do you guys want to hear the 11 through 20?
No.
Okay, great. Yeah. Fuck them. They're dead to us. Speaking of dead to us, just kidding, not dead to us, but there was a retirement. Oh my God.
Welcome to the coaches group chat. We're here live.
24 hours later after editing this.
And we're going to talk to you all about things. Ready? Go.
Ready, set, go. All right, we got a fun docket. I like this docket that we've prepared 6 minutes before this started. It is it's looking good. First up,
ABCA rankings.
we
Let's
have
go.
our AVCA rankings, and we've got beef. Absolute beef right now.
You were supposed to say beef when we said beef.
God damn it, Cooper.
It's what's for dinner.
Come on. Come on, Cooper.
Oh, man. All right, let me lead it off first. I'm going to give you guys the top 10. Top 10, and we'll go from here, all right? Number 1, Long Beach State stays at the number 1.
Everybody
UC
thumbs
Irvine.
up and thumbs down when you hear one.
Everyone at home.
UC Irvine is at number 2. They also received
Great.
one number 1 vote.
Fair.
From?
No
We'll
one
never
knows.
know.
We will know. Let's guess. Go.
We'll get there. UCLA
Charlie Wade.
stays at 3. UCLA stays at 3.
It's fine.
Hawaii
Yeah.
stays at 4.
We don't love that.
Southern California, USC at 5.
Matt, just
Loyola,
clear-
Chicago.
Fine, but
Can we-
put them up.
Tony, can we
Sorry.
just take a sec? This is a podcast. People are not watching your fucking thumbs.
That's true.
Our
That's true.
thumbs went down when Hawaii came up.
Good point. Yeah.
Let's
Not
make
because we
thumb
don't
noises.
like them, but because we don't like that ranking.
Correct. We'll get there. Let's just lay the foundation. Okay?
No foundation.
Number 5, USC.
Fight now.
Number 6, Loyola, Chicago. Number 7, BYU, the Storm and Mormons. Number 8, Stanford, not the Cardinals, not the bird, the color, Stanford Cardinal, number 8. Ball State at 9 and Grand Canyon at 10. That's our top 10. Now,
I hate
give me your
everything.
grievances.
I hate everything.
Where is CSUN and why are they not in the top 10?
Yeah.
CSUN is at 13. They are knocking at the door. They're coming for your ass. Don't worry.
Honestly, we love
Not appropriate.
CSUN staying an underdog, though. We don't want to give them too much because then they have nothing to work for.
Slow and steady.
Completely,
Slow and steady.
I
No
completely
rush.
agree with that.
There's no rush.
CSUN wants all of the chips on their shoulder. Put all the chips on all the shoulders and let them.
It's like
get to
giving
work.
Ball
let them
State
crunch.
a number 5 ranking.
Yeah.
Ball State was like, whoa,
no,
you're
no.
not number 5.
Yeah.
Like, get us out of here.
Yeah, you know, my best friend in college was a swimmer, and he always he had a good reference. It was the idea of outside smoke. When you go through the heats, you qualify, you get the middle lanes because that's like the preferred spot for the top races.
Obviously.
But you always got to look out for that outside smoke. The guy in lane number 1 who's just bringing absolute heat. That's CSUN. They don't want to be in the middle lanes. They want the outside smoke. No
Yeah.
one sees them coming,
Nothing-
and they're just grinding.
I feel like
Nothing to
you're
win in
yelling.
February.
Sorry, I'm excited for CSUN. You guys should know not to talk about CSUN like this so early in the podcast. Come on.
Okay. Well,
User error.
Can we talk about Hawaii
Yes.
really quick?
I think that's the number 1 gripe for me.
And everyone.
Yes, but also UCLA
Sorry, this
could be
is
there
not
too.
just a Homer podcast where we just like, we love Stanford, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not deserved. You can't have 2 undefeated teams right below them. They drop one at home and you don't move them. It's a popularity contest.
Honestly, that's the same thing for me with UCLA. I want UCLA to drop back further than 3.
I don't because I think UCLA is good.
I think Hawaii is good, but when you have USC and Loyola at undefeated, like this is a ranking. Drop them back. They're gonna. It doesn't matter. Just drop them back. They
Can we
lost. The
talk
other teams
conspiracy
won.
theory?
Well, it's a made up ranking, so yeah, it should be conspiracized.
Conspiracy based.
Hit me.
Not a
I
word.
think that coaches are in their conferences are voting their own conference.
That would make a lot of logical sense.
Yes,
Based on how tight the margins are to make the tournament at the end of the year.
Is this poll used for at-larges?
RPI, right?
RPI.
RPI takes
Mostly.
ranking into
Where's
consideration.
RPI?
I don't
Then
know.
all we care about is RPI. We don't care
I'm
about
just
the
a boy,
popular-
Your Honor. Leave
We're-
me alone.
But if they're taking in consideration only RPI and not this, what's this? This is nothing. It's just like a popularity
fluff, yeah.
contest. Yeah. Okay,
But that's
great.
exactly why. That's exactly why it's like, all right, if you could think, all right, UCLA they lost to Long Beach State, but they also lost to Ohio State in a pretty ugly match.
Yeah.
So if USC has beaten CSUN. That's their only true test. Loyola Chicago beat Pepperdine. Yeah, they beat Pepperdine and UC San Diego in 2 close West Coast matches. Sure, they're
I'm
not
not
top
saying
5.
that those are like top. That's like enough.
But this early in the season, if you're undefeated and you travel and you pass a test, reward them.
I just don't understand. You drop one at home to a top 10 team. I don't get how you stay up that high.
Yes.
Stanford moved up 1, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm fine with where Stanford's at, but I think, yes, Hawaii probably should have dropped back to most likely 6 behind Loyola and USC.
Yeah.
They're a friend of BYU. Great, because they beat BYU twice. Honestly.
I'm also not saying that Hawaii can't beat people. I think they can beat people. I'm just saying, like,
Oh, of course.
that's a joke of a ranking with that.
Yeah,
No movement?
here's what I'd say. If you want to create the drama, if we want this to be like an entertaining product, you gotta move those teams that are undefeated up. Let's up the ante here. Put the pressure on them.
I want bigger swings in the rankings. That's all we really want.
Yeah.
Right. Like just lost one, boom, down 4.
Yep.
Sorry, be better. Like play better next week.
Sucks to
I
suck.
agree.
Yeah. Again, if this our conspiracy doesn't really hold up, because if no one cares about this for the tournament, all right,
I care. Yeah.
Not the best conspiracy we've had, but
We've got
Let's
better
just
ones.
pretend like it does matter, and that's why
We've
they're
got
doing
better
it.
conspiracies.
this
than
is the
this.
RPI. Yes. But yeah, I mean, like, why not? Right. Especially you have 2 like pretty good undefeated teams right there. Give the people what they want. Doesn't seem that hard.
Okay, so
We're fighting for you, Jeff Nygaard and
Joe
Shane
Edwards.
Davis.
Oh,
Who
Sam.
were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. I didn't reference CSUN. It was fun.
and CSUN, we are fighting for them to stay out
Theo,
of the top
come on,
10.
let's do
today.
this.
She said, I'm fighting to hold you back so that you can overperform. I don't want middle lane for you. We're outside smoke. Okay. We've established
We?
this.
Oh,
we,
God.
yes. Send me a CSUN hat and a shirt.
They can't afford that. What are you talking about?
All right, fine. I'll come down there and take it. You don't even need to ship it to me. Just invite me to something, damn it. All right. Well, that's AVCA rankings. I think we've voiced our beef. Do you guys want to hear the 11 through 20?
No.
No.
Okay, great. Yeah. Fuck them. They're dead to us. Speaking of dead to us, just kidding, not dead to us, but there was a retirement. Just kidding. Definitely not dead.
Okay,
Still
let's
alive.
pivot to a different thing before we get into that.
Pivot
then.
to another pivot.
Pivot to another
All
pivot.
right. Pivot step.
Let's talk about the games this weekend.
Yes.
We
can do
watched games.
that. We did. We did.
Let's watch.
We stayed up for a while and watched
Okay,
games.
so we did exactly what we're doing right now. Is we sat our asses on this couch and we watched 2 games back to back.
We looked that way at the TV,
Right at
and
the
we
TV.
watched Long Beach UCLA.
versus UCLA at Long Beach, and then we watched Stanford versus Hawaii at Hawaii.
Let's start with this Long Beach UCLA game because we got the rematch coming up.
Sold out crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Girls volleyball was in some wigs screaming at him. I was like, bring back fun volleyball. This is a good show right here. We've got like that was like the place to be.
Yeah, there was the get-in price was like $20-$30, but the resale market for the game at one point had tickets listed at $1,000. It
Love
plummeted down to $250. So like the actual like resale get-in the day of was like $250 for a seat, but still that was like super impressive. At one point there was maybe 15 tickets available and they were $1,000, which was wild. So yeah, sold out crowd, really good environment, but the game was like to Chad's credit, he called it. He absolutely called it last week. Just aggressive serving, a bunch of misses, but a bunch of out of system play. And, it was good, but it was
kind of a smackdown.
I called it a snooze fest. It wasn't as exciting as it could have been. UCLA was pretty flat minus that second set.
Yeah.
Let's go to Nostradamus over here on his prediction. How'd you feel?
Nostradamus.
How'd you feel this game went?
My nostrils were not tingling at all for this thing. It was it's not a good joke. I'm so sorry. No, I mean, I think Long Beach played probably like a B.
Jackson's like, Chad, shut up.
Yeah, you watch it, dog. I'll share this couch with you. Yeah.
Does he come up here at the same time every single podcast?
Once Chad starts talking.
We should probably track this, yeah. He's like, hey, who's this guy talking? I'm gonna get some pets.
Oh.
You won't. But yeah, I thought UCLA was probably like C.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
C plus, right? Just didn't pass the ball great. Everybody kind of a little bit flat. I don't know if that's a, you know, hey, kind of their first crack in the pyramid this year or whatever. And it's, again, to Long Beach's credit, like, you know, selling that thing out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Or I guess minus the 15 seats. But yeah, just it lacked the kind of heavyweight bout that I thought it was going to bring. But we get another crack at it this week, right? So,
Yeah. We'll see how comfortable they get in between. But yeah, it was.
The fourth set, that's what really left us with that taste in our mouth, though.
Long Beach kind of
Because
took control
the
there.
second we were in good spot.
We're like, oh, yeah.
The third went down a little bit more, and then the fourth was not it. And so it just was like, yeah, Long Beach has got him. And they were like just clip farming them. And, you know.
I mean, it was one clip, really. But
how many clips have you seen of that game?
that
how
was
many
just
times
but
has
those
it-
are just normal volleyball. The only clipped moment
that's
was
normal.
was Cooper
That's
sending a
not
free ball right to
normal.
Nikolov in the front row. That was the only all right, that was a bad play. Like we gotta be aware of the big guy right there. But I mean, beyond that, just looked UCLA was flat offensively. The serve just couldn't get going. I thought Rowan didn't play his best game
Yeah.
either. Like he looked a little bit out of sorts. He was uncomfortable setting the ball out to the left side is what it looked like. He was pretty comfortable with bringing it back. But yeah, I think them coming in on Wednesday will be a little bit more. You got your footing. You're at home. Hopefully they have a good crowd. Paulie's tough though because it's not the pyramid in the sense where right you fill it and that thing's loud and packed.
you
Paulie's
feel
like,
it. Yeah, you feel
Paulie's
it.
like you could fill it pretty. You could have the same amount of people in there and it's
Yeah,
gonna
not
feel
gonna feel. Yeah.
empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing is palatial. So we'll
word.
see.
Great word.
We'll see what they bring on a
Producer really liking that word.
palatial. You like that from the pyramid to the palatial? It's big, right? But what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on this game?
No, I have no more thoughts. I want to go to Stanford, Hawaii.
All
I
right.
wanna get it.
Take us
Okay,
through it.
now
get that
for the
drink
game
back?
of the night, Stanford, Hawaii. Hawaii beat Stanford the night before. in
Night one. Cinco sets.
5.
2 nights before.
And then Stanford won in 4. We were pumped. Bobby was asleep on the couch. It was like 1 a.m., right?
Yeah, especially Hawaiian time. It's like 3.
Yeah, something
It's the
like
other way,
that.
but yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It
Otherwise,
was
opposite.
late. It was a long night.
somebody yelled, "Get that beta base shit out of here!" in set 1, and then it was over. Right?
Yeah. To provide some context, it was Stanford night 1 put like back and forth. Kind of it was more of the bout that we were expecting from UCLA Long Beach, where it was like set per set, like very close, and one push like got the team through. And Stanford was playing very fast. Stanford Center was throwing the ball very fast to the pins, and so there was a lot of space to deal with. Nate Clinton, who's an undersized outside hitter, 6'3", 6'4", but just
Could
plays
do
the
no
game.
wrong.
Yeah, I mean
On night 1,
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Nate had 11 kills on night 1. 6 of them were in the first set, and
Yeah.
so he ended up hitting like below 200.
No, I meant in the first set.
Yeah.
In the
He
first
could do.
set, it was like
he was digging
Nate-
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like Nate could do
I
no
was
wrong.
literally laughing, being like, Nate can literally do nothing wrong right now. It was amazing.
The Moses 5 transition balls in a row was pretty sick.
Yeah, but yeah, you could just see this. The Stanford style of play was very uncomfortable for Hawaii. It was fast. It was a lot of off speed. There was a lot of recycling, and there was a lot of just reversing flow once they got that ball. So it was fun to watch the architect Chad's offense in effect over there. But no, it was just you could see Hawaii got very frustrated. I did a video about it, and they were struggling with the off-speed ball so much. And then Teo
Teo
had
was
a breakout week.
great on night 2.
And the thing that I thought Stanford did a really good job of is it was just such a good balance of power and taking advantage of the space. So when the space was there, it wasn't a necessary like, hey, I need to rip this ball. It was I'm gonna hit this ball sharp, get the kill, or throw it in the middle of the court, get the kill. When we got out of system, they were patient. They were putting balls tight. That's where Nate kind of thrived. He got a lot of resets that they would then dig and throw it back to Moses on the other side. And yeah, night 2, it was Stanford in control for most of the sets minus the first. and then they would let Hawaii in at the end, and you could feel like the crowd. And Hawaii
they
made
had
a couple.
some spreads that were like 18-12, and then it
Yeah.
was like, it's going to be 22 all.
Yeah, and Hawaii scrapped their way back, and to Stanford's credit, they stayed in it, and Hawaii kind of gifted it to them at
Hawaii
the end
gave
of
it to 'em
two
at a
of two of
couple.
those sets. They made errors at the end to close it out for Stanford, and then Stanford earned it in the last set.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a really impressive game just to see, and that was more of the style of volleyball that we were hoping for in the big matchups of like, oh, these are two teams that they're getting after it, and Hawaii was chirping, and Stanford was chirping back, and yeah, I was texting with Moses about the game because at the end of the win, you could see like some of the players like yelling through the net at Hawaii, and he was like, yeah, they were just talking smack the whole way through, and he referenced it of some fan yelling, "Get that beta base shit out of here!" And Nate Clinton took that personal, and he kept throwing,
Double down.
Yeah. He said, "I'll take me some more jam and some more wipe," which was just hysterical to watch and see, but. Yeah, some high level volleyball across the board for that week, and you can just see the parity amongst the teams. And Long Beach has certainly established itself as like the juggernaut, but just from 1 through 10, there's a lot of teams that can beat up on each other. So we'll see if there's anyone that can crack that number 1 code. All right, in this week's coaching update news, we had another big name retirement. One Mary Wise from the University of Florida announced her retirement. Do we have any thoughts from the panel over here?
I'm excited to see who they hire. Okay, so I have no thoughts about Mary leaving. I think that it's yes. How long was she there for? Long time.
Long time.
30 plus.
Yeah. So the girls on the team got on TikTok and have been posting like hire Dave, who's the first assistant at
Dave
Florida.
Booz being the
Dave Booz.
associate head, runs the
head.
defense, all that kind of
Yes.
stuff.
So like a bunch of the girls, I've been on like hire Dave TikTok. That's been my alligator TikTok.
Yeah, I'm always alligators.
I'm on hire Dave TikTok, and all the girls are posting a bunch of stuff being like, hire him. What are we doing? Are you serious? What are you doing? And now everybody's like, what's going to happen if they
Transfer portal.
don't hire him?
Head
which is
coach
really
leaves, so you get
interesting.
30
Yeah, I was
days,
gonna say, wait, when
45
she retires, does that mean they get the 30-day
Yes,
activation?
but
Yeah,
of course,
sure.
Okay.
of course. But there's no movement that can happen right now. They
They
could transfer, but like the portal is kind of closed.
But those
So,
those kids can go anywhere.
They
Yeah.
can go anywhere, but like you gotta.
There's
also,
you got to get cap space for
you
it
gotta
for other
have
schools.
cap space to be able to do it.
I thought money was made up this year and do
Money
whatever
is
you want.
also made up.
I feel like it's almost more interesting because you're entering a market where
You're in a
there's
better
such-
spot.
well, everything's kind of
Up and for grabs.
everything has kind of settled from the first wave,
Sure.
and now you have flooded the market with potential supply when no one else is able to be in that market.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wonder if somebody comes after Kennedy Martin and it's just like, I have $500,000 for you.
Yeah,
Come to
yeah, it could be one of those weird.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Oh, all of a sudden
Wisconsin
they're
doesn't need her right now, but other schools, yes. Right. Wisconsin doesn't need her.
I mean, Wisconsin would probably take her.
I'm
but-
sure.
I mean,
I'm sure any school in the country would take her.
put her anywhere.
Never seen her play.
Yeah, I have.
When?
I got the clips.
What clips
TikTok clips.
of Gators?
Yeah, you told. I definitely have gator clips, but a different kind of gator. You told me about her name, and so I looked it up. So I started to play.
Sure. She's pretty good.
Yeah, she's pretty darn good.
But if she says hire Dave, I think they gotta hire Dave.
That is an
Crazy.
interesting one too. Of like, can you
I
imagine?
love it.
Can you imagine? Yeah, how much power these kids now have in the sense of
Yes.
like dictating the hiring process. Players have always been involved. Like when they're hiring assistants, you have the player interviews, and you do all this and that. But now it's like literally, hey, hire this person, or
We're
I'm leaving.
leaving.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like that
Thank
is
goodness.
that is. I wouldn't say it's the wild, wild west, but it's
It's West.
wild,
Oh.
and it could be northwest. Who knows? But it's above board. It's just crazy.
I love it.
What's interesting is like, all right, you think when I think about NIL, you always have to compare it to, okay, this is professional sports, right? It's more professional sports now. When this happens, when a coach leaves in professional sports, you have contracts still that it doesn't matter who the coach is.
Yeah.
I'm sure like maybe Bob knows. Like if you have it in your contract that if the coach leaves, maybe that's something that's written in your contract that you get out. No, that's not a thing. So at what point does this start to go even more to the professional level where, hey, we're signing multi-year deals. We are truly professionalizing this rather than pretending this is just, oh, your name, image, and likeness rather than your performance on the field.
Well, they're going to have to, because there's going to have to be rules around all of this, and there is no rules right now. So, like, and that's not just like professionalizing it. It's really just like creating like security for people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the coaches need rules as well, but that's so just so that they can operate and live their, like, so many of the NCAA rules for coaches were put in place to make their lives less chaotic, right? Here's the recruiting timelines. Here's the dead period so that they can actually go out and have vacation and not worry about, hey, I have to be on this wheel of a rat race.
Yes, but also like it was to protect the kids before, and the kids were not protected. So
yeah, it's
the kids flipped the script.
For sure.
So it's
it is interesting to see, but in this battle, you look at coaches still, like take the news in the men's volleyball world of Matt Worley leaving mid-season in the men's season to go join Kansas, right? Of that same idea, that same concept of men's coaches or top talent seeking the higher support levels of what women's volleyball is going to bring. Still, with all of the unknowns that are out there, people are just you're placing a bet basically, right? You're underwriting the risk of what's about to happen and thinking, okay, women's volleyball is going to have the resources to be able to deal with this, whatever we're going to have to deal with. Whereas men's volleyball, what the hell are we going to do, right?
Thinking about that with Worley, my first thought was like, Worley leaves midseason, portal opens for 30 days for all their current players. So just like, well, I want to go to UCLA. Later.
UCLA doesn't want them to come to them.
That's fine, but like someone, right? And then my head went to like women's volleyball. So you have the preseason, right? And the same way the NFL, hey, look, you have training camp and you have some preseason games, but like you could be you watch Hard Knocks, you can be shuffling these players during that time.
Like Luka.
Sure. Not exactly, but
I think I'd say Saquon Barkley would be the more pertinent example of that.
Saquon, yeah, probably makes more sense right now. But my point is, like, what if you got through like double days with your team and was like, oh, I'm clearly the fourth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Portal, hey, look, we don't play our first match until August 28th, 29th, whatever. Hey, the month of August, you're allowed to do whatever you want. And there's a third portal.
School.
Is it? What'd you miss? Syllabus week? Like,
no, not at Stanford, because Stanford doesn't start school till September.
Great, then you haven't missed anything. Stanford's obviously the outlier.
Stanford's not taking anybody.
Also in the fall, like, I mean, you guys know, like these course loads that the girls are taking, like it's not heavy, right?
Yeah,
like, for the most part,
most schools are trying to help their athletes.
You go lighter in the fall, you take it heavier in the spring.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, of course.
I don't know.
August transfer portal. You heard it here first. And for the last time, probably.
Hey, I mean, when it comes down to it, I think everything's on the table. There's still so much stuff that's just up in the air with the legalities of it. But when you're a coach and you're trying to think about the future of where things are going, you're trying to be aware, you're trying to be on top of it all. But it's still an arms race when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I say free market, professionalize everything.
Contracts, signing bonuses.
Correct.
Do you have to buy out? You have to buy out the contract then
for college,
right?
And
hey, look, if X player's making $100K to play for Nebraska, I'm at Texas. I want her. My OH2,
buy out her
my
contract.
OH2 goes down. I got to pay Nebraska the money that they owed her plus whatever I'm going to pay her. Great. Because I'm at like you're in double days, like that's when the most injuries probably happen. Like your workload is the highest in the first 20 30 days,
and it's the most revealing in terms of roster and what the dynamic's going to look like.
So if you're a top team and one of your kids goes down, crap, like I have to solve that problem immediately, and also you get clarified on the depth chart real quick. Hey, I was on the practice squad. I'm bye. I don't need this. Like I want to play.
Well, I have a additional question. It's along the same veins as kind of that same concept of players seeing where they stand and where they're going to be at on the court, trying to be on the court. It's the breakout player of the year thus far for the men's season. For men's. And I'll go first because I think it kind of bodes and bounces off of what Chad was talking about. It's a transfer, and it's Keone for me. my breakout guy thus far has been Keone. I think he's been the most steady guy for BYU. He's been the heaviest offensive load. He has been a core of that passing rotation with a roster where a lot of guys have been in and out as they try and figure out their lineup. He has been the one steady workhorse, and he's certainly had himself a season of big plays, big moments, and I think even just kind of media impressions wise, social media, he's been all over it, and he's always kind of been all over it on the social media stuff, but it's even bigger when he's playing at BYU in front of huge crowds with a media team that's also like producing for him and getting him content.
What's the difference between that and
in Hawaii? He's playing is the biggest difference.
Yeah, playing.
Yeah. That's the biggest difference. So like he saw the writing on the wall. They've got these guys that Charlie wants to be the future. Sure. All right, fine. I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to get my time. Goes to BYU. He's playing at a high level, doing a really good job. So that's my current breakout player of the year. I think he deserves a lot of praise for what he's done thus far.
I'd take Teo.
I'd take Teo too.
Damn it. All right, you go first.
Just kidding. You can take Teo. I'm going to come up with another one while you talk.
I was thinking of other people too. Yeah, no, I think Teo's been playing great. Obviously he's played a little bit on the right in previous years, a little bit on the left, and I think has kind of settled into his role with this team. Obviously we're homers, right? I've coached that guy for a long time. Back when he started in the middle,
yep.
He's slowly made his way middle, right to left. Now he's hitting just consistently good numbers. He's always kind of been really interested in that variety in the toolbox, and he's always been a guy who's been physical, but to watch him like be able to score off speed, do some really nice things as a blocker, and then go back to the service line and score some points. That's awesome. But I think what stood out for me against Hawaii, because Hawaii historically is a strong serving team, he's been passing the ball
really
lot better,
super steady,
and I think
he does not get aced much.
No, I mean, and that's massive, right? And I don't know if that's just, hey, he's kind of had more time to play on the outside at this level or whatever this is, but he's kind of found himself and he's looking confident in his abilities. So obviously, as people who were involved, with the young version of that, like it's just super cool to see him like steady into himself. So that's awesome.
Micah Goss.
Oh, that was my other one too. Dang it. That's a great pick.
Well played. 100%. You're right.
Micah Goss is the breakout player of the year.
So true.
Where did he come from?
Santa Barbara.
What?
Go Chose.
Yeah, Santa Barbara boy. His dad. We're watching UC Irvine versus Stanford, and Dan Orsai's up in the stands with me. He goes, "Yeah, his dad went to Stanford." I was like, "What?"
Oops.
I want that guy. That guy is 100%.
Where in the? I never saw that kid in the gym.
No. Never saw him in club once. I don't know where he played. He must have been like Santa Barbara Coast or something like that. But goodness gracious, he is effective. And the biggest thing that shocks me with him, great call by you, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it over. Go ahead.
His blocking. Normally, that's the biggest thing from like a freshman middle stepping in, the speed of the game.
Takes you a while. Yeah.
He's all over it.
I remember that Santa Barbara team. I mean, they had a couple of good seasons because it was Dylan Bennett coaching that squad for most of the time, all their better teams. And I mean, this must have been one of those guys. But like this was a, finishing like T9 or T11, whatever. I don't know that they ever like won anything, so maybe we didn't see him in like later rounds.
No, just because he didn't win anything, though, you think you would have run into some kid on day one that like.
Oh my God, have you seen this?
Have you seen that kid
Santa Barbara Volleyball Club? Maybe, I don't.
Honestly,
I don't know.
With the way that they recruit, also at Irvine, like, I think that he like. Niff might have been the only person that saw him.
It's certainly
right?
possible.
Like,
100%.
Yeah, like everybody else missed him too, I think.
I mean, he could have been, a rock climber, and when
Maybe.
Niff was foraging through the forest, like stumbled upon him.
Honestly,
was like,
that wouldn't surprise me
"Sir,
either.
you look like a middle."
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was just at the mall one day.
It's not like Max had played middle before he got to Irvine. Like, I don't know.
That's true.
That's so Niff. Niff is like, give me a middle that can set and a setter that can play middle.
Yes, Niff called me and said, "Do you have any middles that could be setters?" And I was like, "No, I don't. I'm sorry. I would love to tell you yes, but I do not have one of those."
You gotta give you gotta just tip the cap to Niff on his recruitment process is different than anyone else's. We've gone
For
through
sure.
it with every school, and Niff takes his time. He gets to know every aspect. He spends so much time with these recruits, with these families. It's insane. And he also consistently finds just diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, for sure.
It is an impressive feat from him because there are not many players that get by us, and we're just in the club world of like seeing who's around us. There's not a player that gets by us where we don't know about a top recruit, and that kid is a top recruit.
For sure.
Like
He's really
he'd
good.
be starting on the vast majority of programs right now, 100%. He
Wait,
probably would be
is
on
there-
every team.
He should be. Is there a team that he wouldn't?
I think maybe USC. USC is the best pair of middles I've seen thus far.
Yeah.
So
that's
maybe
true.
USC
They have the
he doesn't start.
Biggest pair of middles.
Biggest pair
Yeah,
of middles.
but they can move and they can block and they're attacking really well too. So
Would
that's.
you-
But still, even there, he's going to compete in that crowd for sure. Yeah, he's legit. That's a really good call
How
by
tall
you.
is the kid from 352 who plays for UCLA?
Cameron Thorne.
Yeah, Cameron Thorne. How tall is he?
6'5"?
Yeah, 6'5" maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gigantic. I mean, he flies.
Yeah,
but
it's just But yeah, Cam Thorne. One of my
Would
favorite
you rather
players to
take
watch.
the USC middles, or would you rather take Cameron Thorne and Micah Goss together?
USC's middles.
Really?
Ooh,
Yes.
interesting. I'd go the other way.
I'd go the other way too. I think
I'd go. So I'm
I
thinking
might
of-
even keep Max, to be honest, and just keep Irvine's
Yeah, yeah.
middle.
it's true, but
I'm thinking about it from a sense of building a roster for continued success. They're young. That's why I'm going with them.
just get rid of age.
Okay, if I'm getting rid of age,
You're winning this year.
I'm trying to win this year. Okay. I would probably just stick with
USC middles.
I'd go Cameron Thorne and I'd go Max over Goss, specifically because I just want all around volleyball all the time. And I think those
You
two are
think that
probably the
Max
best.
is the best all-around volleyball middle?
Yes, 100%. I think honestly, I could see Max starting at setter for Irvine by the end of this year.
Honestly, that might be. Yeah,
I love Joe Carlos. I think he's a baller, but Max could absolutely be a starting setter as well. He was fantastic in club. Physical, big, great serve.
I like Thorne a lot in the middle. I just think that I like an undersized middle that is like he's always been.
Oh yeah, offensively fantastic, and the block people knock on his block, but they don't understand the numbers. He's one of the most effective blockers.
Who's the other middle at UCLA? Oh,
They have a
Hirsch's friend.
Yeah, they have a couple. They've had two that rotate. One of the guy who started for him last year was
Yeah.
injured, and he hasn't been playing.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, interesting.
you go Max and Goss. Would you?
I'd probably just keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's based on who you have, right? If you can't pass the ball, then your middles don't matter. But I mean, shoot, you could back up Max in a serve receive. You'd probably
Exactly.
be fine too.
Yeah.
I mean, so those guys pass the ball pretty well. Therefore, yeah, just give me
Wes is
an
big.
undersized guy.
Mm-hmm. That's why I went with them to start. Is
I'm
they're
just saying that as
huge.
devil's advocate.
They're huge. They're young, and they're effective. Yeah. Any live update before we sound off here?
I'm leaving at 5:30 tomorrow morning. For
Exactly.
a
I'm trying to help
plane.
you out right now. See?
Why? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm leaving at 5:30 in the morning for a tournament.
Which tournament?
Triple Crown.
Bon not gonna like that quote.
Sorry, Mom.
I'm going to Capitol Hill.
The Capitol Hill Classic.
It's supposed to snow an hour before I land. We're supposed to get 6 inches of snow tomorrow, and so that's looking special. And yeah, I'm a little concerned on how I'm going to get 3 checked bags around tomorrow. But hey, I'm going to figure it out.
Hey, Sky Cap, just drop it off for the second you get out the door of the car. You'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I have a great life update for you guys. You ready for this? This weekend, we had a special guest. Kiwi,
Ew.
the class pet for Hallie's pre-kindergarten class. And they send you home with this. It's a
Oh
chameleon.
my gosh, this story is actually really
It's
funny.
a stuffed animal. And they have a binder, and you have to do a...
Wait, it's not a real animal?
Not a
No.
real animal. It's a class pet. It's a stuffed animal.
pre-K.
It's a chameleon. They're
You
not,
know,
they're not
it's-
trusting a
It's 2025. Do you know how many
animal?
class pets?
We used to bring home like animals.
Yeah, and then all the animals
Got
like had lost or died, and then they canceled the animals.
So
And they're-
Kiwi
Kiwi's
is a
the
stuffed
chameleon.
animal. Kiwi comes home, and so you get a paper, and you're supposed to take pictures, and you document your weekend with Kiwi, and then you write a story. Of course, I took some pictures on day one. We got some pictures of her on Saturday, and then we forgot about it on Sunday. Completely forgot. And you're supposed to turn it in on
Last
Monday.
night we scrambled.
So we're scrambling. We're like,
This morning
crap.
we scrambled.
I have a total of 4 photos, and I'm looking at all the other classmates. There's 25 photos.
Yeah,
collaged.
these parents are going bananas with the weekend they had with Kiwi.
So you know what I do? I take Kiwi while the girls are sleeping. I do a little photo shoot. We got Jackson in there. We did some photos. So then Hallie wakes up. I get her ready. We take some more photos. Throw her in the bed of the truck. Photo. Put her on her bike. Photo.
Kiwi had a weekend.
Kiwi had a ghost ride. The whip.
And then,
Yeah.
and then ChatGPT came into play.
You have to write a story. You have to write a story of your weekend with Kiwi. And so I'm like, all right, ChatGPT, pull it up. ChatGPT, write me a poem about our weekend with Kiwi, the class pet for Hallie's kindergarten class. Here's the things that we did. Keep it under.
Matt got fucking
8 lines.
compliments from the kindergarten teacher.
And man,
or
oh man,
whatever.
ChatGPT crushed it. It was a Dr. Seuss poem on Kiwi the
You should
chameleon.
have seen Riley and Hallie's faces when they heard Matt reading this to them. They were like,
Shook.
"Are
They
you
were
kidding me?"
It was
Yes.
magic. It was magic. And I arrived today like a king. I pick up Hallie from school, sign her out, and the teachers are fawning. They're like, the poem was amazing. That was the most artistic thing we've ever seen. I was like, you know what? Just do it
vowed.
for the kids. Just do it for the kids.
Real natural egg
Oh.
pose.
Yep. I definitely threw in the voice of Dr. Seuss, and we got a great 4 lines of rhymes in there. And yeah, Hallie was real pleased. So Ariel's mad because I got dad compliments and she got nothing. That's what happens when I get to pick up the girls. It's good stuff. I get to take all the credit for the good things that
I
happen.
legitimately don't care.
I love that you guys.
At all.
I love that you guys pay all this money not for your kids to cheat
That's
at school,
what I-
but for your
And
parents. You guys are cheating.
That's why they never compliment me, because I say that. And I'm like, we're paying a lot of money for me not to do homework.
No,
you know
for
that?
your husband to cheat with ChatGPT
Exactly.
and write a
It's so
poem
true.
about Kiwi.
Hey, I think the direct quote,
Work smart, not hard.
What?
Huh?
well,
You said that like 5 times at dinner
it's
tonight.
not how I said it, but the sentiment remains the same. Hey, great episode, everyone. Let's do it again sometime soon.